Hey guys, this is Joe.
This is DJ.
And we were here with the Ranger Wrap-Up, our weekly Power Ranger review show on Power Rangers Dino Supercharge. This week, we're going to be talking about episode 12, titled
Catching Some Rays.
That's right. Then we're going to be talking about our favorite mentor Power Ranger relationships with their relatives, I guess.
Our top 5 picks.
That's right. And finally, we are going to be answering your fan questions and comments from YouTube and the podcast. But
From
before we do all that, let's get into a clip.
It looks like this bone is blocking a door, maybe?
I wonder what's in there.
Maybe we shouldn't.
Too late, my lady.
Guys, what's happening?
All right, so episode 12, Catching Some Rays. Joe, what'd you think about today's episode?
I liked it. There's aspects I didn't like. The main thing to me was I don't feel like this overarching thing was really moving the plot forward at all.
It didn't.
I do like the Silver Ranger stuff, but at
all 2 seconds of it?
All 2 seconds of it. But at the end of the day, it was a fun episode. Sure. I enjoyed it, and I definitely laughed out loud. Did laugh out loud in this episode.
And it was a fun episode. I mean, what I thought it was going to be was a Kendall episode, and it ended up being a Koda episode.
Sure. It really ended up being an episode about respecting your elders.
Absolutely. And I did like that lesson. I mean, we did get the introduction to G-Ma Betty, played by Alona Rogers. So I thought she did a really good job. Very Old Testament. I love the way they introduced her.
Very Old Testament.
Well, she was old school, man. She was definitely.
I didn't know what that meant there.
No, it's just that she was definitely. Here, eat this. It'll stick to your bones.
You know what I say, Grandma G-Ma, she worked her butt off.
She did.
At the Dino.
She single-handedly held down the Dino.
And then she's
cafe.
like, I got all these dishes to do from these kids, and I didn't even thank you.
But here's the thing. But her mind was so about that. So I love the way she was introduced. She's gives
an
us
active older lady.
Yeah, you know what I mean. She's living her life. She is living her life. She brings the Rangers the big old lens that ends up being a pretty big part of the plot. You know what I'm saying?
Which moves us forward because Koda sees that lens.
Exactly. Which brings us to
going to the caves.
Yeah.
I mean, and they saw, what are they called? The something graphs.
The petroglyphs.
Petroglyphs. And
made out of berries and what is it, mammoth poop?
Yeah, and then I love the fact that it was Kendall like touching it, like, oh, what is?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, and she was like, oh.
It's like berries and mammoth poop. But no, I mean, so we get the backstory that this is about 100,000 years ago. There's a section in the cave that we see that Koda, I guess, grandfather told him not to go into.
Sure, like there was a section definitely cut off that said, there's evil here or there's something bad here. You can't go past these rocks.
Ever. And you ever just hang out with your friends and you kind of want to egg your boy on? That's kind of what happened. So Ivan and the other Rangers are kind of like...
Ivan's the main protagonist.
Ivan did push that.
Well, your grandfather's not here now.
You can kind of do what you want because, who's going to be the wiser.
But I also like the fact, so Koda totally gives into the peer pressure.
Absolutely.
And like he's teetering between the two, like he's like, see, this is a silly rule. Nothing bad's going to happen.
So we get past the place where he's not supposed to go. They unlock and kind of move something they're not supposed to move, and they unleash this monster that apparently has been there for 100,000 years, named Leisure. And the very first thing Leisure, the monster, does is go up to space and attacks the planet Earth with this beam called the Vacation Beam.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know what? I kind of wish somebody would attack Earth with a Vacation Beam right about now.
The Vacation
Because sometimes work can suck. They can. I'd like to get hit with a Vacation Beam. But, yeah, see, this is where it kind of was like, okay, where's this episode really going to?
Right.
Like, I love the show.
Sure.
I thought it was fun, but it didn't, like, one thing we didn't mention, though, was I do like, you mentioned this earlier, I do like the part where they talk about the Silver Ranger in the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, they quickly made mention, Ivan and Chase was going to Kendall and saying, because they're recognizing the fact that Plazio is a space shuttle. They didn't forget that fact. So it was worth mentioning, hey, why don't you just take Plazio and help out and maybe help out go up to space and help out the Silver Ranger.
Sure.
And she mentions, it's a little bit more complicated than that. We can't, but as soon as we can, we will type of thing. So that was kind of nice.
It was.
So Leisure attacks the Earth. Amber Beach is affected. Everybody's having a good time. We have a great montage of the Rangers having fun. The very, very beach summer wear, which is funny
on
because
bicycles.
Yeah, and you were talking about
Tyler or Brennan Mejia was in the circus in the past, and he was on a unicycle,
making it look effortlessly.
Making it look pretty unique.
Might I add?
I'm sure that they played some of his natural circus skills into that.
To be fair, the entire season of Dino Charge has been utilizing their personal skills. So
that's something that Chip said. Chip said that he actually talked to all of them first, and kind of interviewed them and kind of built the characters around them.
And it shows. It really shows. You see Koda doing his athleticism. Sorry. Chase being a skateboarder, Tyler being athletic as well, unicycling, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that was really well done. So in any case, everyone's exposed by the beam. Koda and Kendall are trying to figure out a way to reverse the spell. And they're missing parts. They're missing a piece. And Kendall has the moment. Maybe we don't need to.
By the way, covering your head and wearing sunglasses gets you out of the vacation.
Correct. The vacation beam can be repelled with a towel over your head or a nice sun hat and some glasses. So they were prepared. They were on that. That was good.
That was fun. That's DJ's look on the weekends.
Not really. So anyways, they're trying to figure out a way to reverse the beam. They're taking the pictures from the lithographs?
Pictoglyphs.
From the cave pictures.
Pictoglyphs? Something like that? Hieroglyphs?
From the cave pictures. And they're missing a component. So they're studying, and then Kendall's like, maybe we don't need this. Maybe all we need is Plan G-Ma Betty.
G-Ma Betty.
And
she comes through with the...
You love G-Ma Betty.
With the lens, with their glasses lens.
Yeah, and that was pretty much the main, the main story, the main lesson for today's episode, which is, if you appreciate your parents, they're wise, let them know, because they appreciate it. It makes them feel good. Tell your mom and dad you love them.
But they didn't appreciate when G-Ma Betty didn't say thank you for her cleaning up all the dishes now.
Joe's pretty upset about the lack of appreciation.
Lack of respect for G-Ma Betty.
G-Ma Betty.
She's cleaning up all that crap. I don't like it. I don't like it. She's an old lady. Let her relax.
G-Ma Betty killed it, just for the record. She was great.
She was great. She was great in this episode. I like the performance of the Rangers. I think the most important part of this episode, though, happens in the last 2 minutes.
No, absolutely. So, ultimately, G-Ma Betty helps reverse the spell. The Rangers eventually get the spell broken. There's a really great fight between Kendall and the other monster, Loafer. Leisure? Leisure and Loafer, the brother
It
of...
was Loafer.
Yeah. So they have this great space battle.
Are you more Leisure or more Loafer?
I'm definitely more leisure, man.
You're a leisure guy?
I'm a leisure kind of guy.
A leisure guy?
Yeah. So Kendall versus Loafer in the space battle. I know you're not really a mech guy, but what'd you think about that?
So I actually did like this one. This mech, I did. Yeah. I thought, I think it's mainly because I don't know why, I think Kendall has the best helmet.
Kendall's dope. I mean, it's not...
But in that supercharged mode, with the all black,
sure,
I love it. I love her helmet.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
And I'm a huge fan of like a purple ranger for some odd reason. Like it's not something we get. We got the violet ranger in Jungle Fury, but to my recollection, this is our first purple ranger.
Correct, but even in Jungle Fury, I think it was the Wolf Ranger.
The Wolf Ranger.
Yeah, sure. But even in Japan, it was considered Curio violet. They didn't call it purple. And in Dino Charge, her shade of purple is actually a little bit darker compared to her Curio counterpart. You wouldn't know unless you knew what to look for. Just like Ivan's suit is much more of a tan compared to the off gold in Curio.
Interesting.
So Kendall single-handedly defeats that monster.
With the Sentai knowledge, you gotta love it.
That's my boy right here, man. So Kendall finishes off the monster. They're able to defeat Leisure. She defeats Leisure. The other Rangers with his spell.
See what you did there? I said you did.
Defeat.
Leisure and Loafer. I got it.
The Ranger's spell is broken, and they defeat the other monster, and we're finally brought back to the actual plot, which is the Silver Ranger.
Yes, and the Silver Ranger now he needs pretty much all of the blueprints and the data for the Zords,
which was really weird.
Yeah.
It was very suspicious.
So it's very, and even Kendall says Keeper had the creepiest voice when they cut back. So he was like, oh no. Like it was so strange the way he's like,
like should we do it?
Noise is he making?
We should. It's better than doing nothing. Hey, giggity.
But they eventually come to the terms like they don't have a choice. This is what they have to do.
Correct.
Now.
So they did introduce something in this episode. They introduced the Dark Energem.
Right.
And that...
But they foreshadow that the Silver Ranger may not be somebody they can trust.
He may not be on the up and up.
He may not be on the up and up.
It definitely left you with a feeling of, is he a good guy or is he not a good guy?
Right.
So overall, we have Catching Some Rays. It was a fun episode.
Yeah,
I mean, I did like the montage. And
what are you ranking this? Give me a.
I give it a 2.5, man. I give it a 2.5. Maybe just even a 2. I didn't feel like it was a lot of plot. I did think it was fun.
So the audience has a barometer of other episodes that you would consider a 2 from maybe past seasons. What like if we're talking the general consensus is Mighty Morphin. What are we talking there?
If I had to rate it to season?
Like if you had to figure like what's an episode in Mighty Morphin that you consider a 2?
Ooh, geez.
Like let's set your barometer right now. Like what's a 5? What's a 1?
Well, a 5 for Mighty Morphin would be, of course, Green with Evil. Just anything with Green with Evil.
Epic.
Yeah. I think a 2 for Mighty Morphin might be, I don't know, because it's so nostalgia, but I would even say like maybe a Pudgy Pig. I don't know.
Oh no, that's a fair.
Food fight.
Food fight. Okay, that's a fair assessment.
Just because it was still fun and it was still a Power Ranger episode, but it just was what it was. It was a fun, not necessarily a high stakes type of episode. So. With that said, what is your ranking? What would you rank this as far as hashtags?
I'm with you with the 2.
You would give it a 2.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this, and like we both love Power Rangers. Sure. Nothing against this episode. It was still fun. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It just when you get left so much with the Silver Ranger taste in your mouth. Yeah. That sounded really strange as it was coming out of my mouth.
I went with it.
When you think about things like that, you think, man, I wanted more of that A plot. I wanted to get a little bit more of that A plot, and I felt like we didn't get enough of that. So maybe it was my kind of like just. We've
been spoiled. We have been spoiled because when Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge is on, it's really really on, and you want to find out more about the Dark Energems and the Silver Ranger.
Well, and another thing too is we're not developing. I mean, we're finding out in this episode a little bit about Koda's past with his grandfather.
It should have been about Kendall.
But it's not essential to the plot, really.
I felt like they could have took this episode. I don't know if there's going to be a Kendall episode, but I really felt like this was the opportunity.
Have we actually got a Kendall episode?
Well, we had her becoming the Purple Ranger. We don't really have a backstory on Kendall. We just know that we don't know how she met Keeper.
We don't know how she met Chase.
Yeah, we know how Chase found his Energem, and we know how Koda found his Energem, but we don't have the complete picture as far as why is she involved with Keeper, why is she the orchestrator, and why are we having our headquarters in, the Dino Cafe and the museum and all this stuff. We don't have the complete backstory.
And Kendall lives at the Dino Bay?
At this point, man, I think they all live there. I feel like they have no homes, they have no parents, and except for Tyler. And Tyler's
his dad's gallivanting around the world.
He's trying to find the headquarters. Okay, so he's a busy man, but I feel like they all live
Prince
there.
Philip definitely has a home because he
has a kingdom to run. He has a country to run.
He actually wasn't in this episode.
No, not at all. He did not pop up
randomly
and give the swag.
He wasn't on vacation, is what we were saying. He was not on vacation.
Now that you bring that up, it would have been great to see Prince Philip's kind of hanging tan, because even that one line with Riley where he's getting shot at.
I was just gonna mention that.
And he's getting shot at by the monster, and he just looks around, looks you in the eye, and says, "Cool," giving his best Keanu Reeves he possibly can.
It was great.
So yeah, man.
That's a lot of fun. So now we come to the part of the show where we run down our list. So we originally were doing the top 5 individually. Now we're doing the top 5 together.
Yep.
We have the top 5 mentor-relative relationships in Power Ranger histories. Try saying that fast. So let's start off with number 5.
Sure. So number 5 is definitely the Trumans from RPM. We're talking about Scott, Mason, and Marcus Truman, and it was just really, really fun because RPM again pushed the envelope in a lot of ways. We learned that something happens to Scott's brother, but they're all military background. Scott isn't necessarily following his father's ideal lifestyle, and vice versa.
Mason Truman,
Marcus Truman, and Scott. You know what I mean? And you kind of get a sense that Marcus and Mason probably had a better father-son relationship, and Scott was always kind of bringing up the rear. So
and I also think that Mason is possibly Shelby's dad in an alternate universe.
We
talked about that.
Same actor, for the record. Again, same actor played Shelby's dad. So
number 4.
That was number 5.
Number 4, we're going to Mystic Force. We're going to do a little bit about Mystic Force. We have
nice.
Udana,
Yep.
Nick,
Yep.
and Liam Bolt.
Strong. all strong Rangers, dude.
Yeah.
All super strong.
Not a season that's not recognizably known for being one of the best seasons, but still a good season nonetheless. But I think that this
I like to find.
this definitely had it gave it more clout to the season.
Yeah.
Definitely pushed the plot a lot forward better. These characters were really well developed.
Yeah.
I think that with the way that season shaped up, a lot of it revolved around Nick. But at the same time,
It was a Nick show.
Yeah, it was a Nick show, but you definitely got a lot of everyone was supporting to the Nick show.
No. I mean, it still has its diligence as far as giving the character focuses. I mean, you're still Team Zandar. I know that much.
I didn't know Zandar was such a popular character.
They brought him back from Once a Ranger for a reason. I think he was the one that kind of overshadowed everyone else in terms of likability and just being interesting. I think he was the most interesting character of all.
The old
of
Zandar charm.
Yeah.
Got us all.
So coming in for number 3, I'm gonna go with Ninja Storm and bring up the Master Watanabe, the guinea pig, and Cam Watanabe. I think it was a really dope dynamic in terms of starting off with, first of all, it's a guinea pig. I mean, come on. And then you get the backstory that he's the brother of Loafer.
I think Cam's an underrated ranger, personally.
Cam is a dope ranger. When he finally comes across the samurai green powers,
He's a mixture of Billy and Tommy.
Absolutely, and he's a force to be reckoned with. Now, the bigger question is Cam Watanabe related to Mia Watanabe from Samurai, your favorite season?
Oh yeah, my favorite season.
Loves that
I
season.
can't even remember all the characters' names in that
That's
show.
how much he loves that season.
Our number 2. Moving on, our number 2. I gotta show some love to the Mitchells. Lightspeed
Mitchells,
Rescue,
yes.
Captain Mitchell, Dana Mitchell, Ryan Mitchell, the
So
Mitchells.
good. So good.
I think that in the tallest cast in Power Ranger history, I think that there's a lot of great reasons why.
I did that tall.
Yeah.
I didn't really catch what you were
So
saying.
Sean C.W. Johnson's about 6'4".
Oh, jeez.
Who else is there? Who's that? Dana, I was gonna call him. Allison McGinnis, she's like 5'10".
Sure.
Rhett Fisher is like 6'2".
Oh, so it is a tall season.
They also, also Sean said that, actually no, Allison told me that they never are gonna cast a Power Ranger cast ever that's gonna be that tall again because all the camera guys are shorter.
Sure.
So the camera angles had to be higher.
Production difficulties.
Yeah.
Sure.
But the reason why they make the list at number 2 is because
They were badass.
They were badass. First of all, you start with the Titanium Ranger, the first ever American-owned Ranger.
One of my favorites, by the way.
And he starts off with he starts off as evil, and then you have Dana, who's a nurse / paramedic, essentially.
Sure.
And Captain Mitchell's the hard set, like Nick Fury of that team.
Let me take the time to really talk about that relationship real quick because Captain Mitchell, even the storyline between Captain Mitchell and his kids, and having to save or doing his best to save his kids, and the reason why Ryan has the snake tattoo to begin with it was so dope, man. I remember watching that like, man, this is emotional. Dude.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. And I love the backstory too, where he tells and he almost
he was hanging from a cliff, having to make a choice whether to save his kids or not, and I mean. Ultimately, he had to make the deal with the devil type of thing. I mean, I thought it was great.
That was great. And it was I'm talking about it now, man. Lightspeed Rescue is another one of the best seasons.
So strong. So let's talk about our number 1 relative mentor relationship pick.
Now, let me preface this with, this might not be your conventional number 1 pick. And
it's the best.
A lot of you guys might agree with us. You guys might disagree with us. But we did sit down and we planned it. We figured it all out. And we feel like our number 1's a fun choice. So go for it.
It's going to be Spike and Skull from Samurai.
Come
on, man. This was such a great little nod to original MMPR. And honestly, I thought Spike did a good job. I thought he did a good job as and I love the fact that Skull did make a cameo at the end of Samurai, and he was a baller, man.
My only issue,
this screw up from high school who used to give Miss Appleby hardships.
Well, my only issue
came in a limo
with Spike and Bulk in Samurai were that they actually never met the Rangers. It's my only issue with it.
They never really met the Rangers much, but there was still an episode where, like, for instance, Spike did have a crush on the Pink Ranger, just like Skull had a crush on Kimberly.
There's a lot of rumors and speculation. I'd love to hear and see what everyone thinks out there. Please comment below.
Sure.
Are Kimberly and Skull together, and is Spike the product of that?
The answer is...
That's what I'd like to know. I want to hear what you guys think about that, because there's a lot of these mythical Power Ranger hypotheticals, like the whole Wes and Sky thing.
Wes and Sky, like Wes from Time
SPD.
Force, Wes from
Wes from Time Force and Sky from SPD.
Possibly being the father. But you actually got the interview, and
I got the interview, but we'll put that out later. But there's a definitive answer on that.
There's actually an actual answer for that.
And then we also have the rumor, it's a possibility that the Jen and Jason connection from Time Force.
And then Danny Delgado from Wild Force and Z Delgado from SPD. But I'm a fan of the Spike and Kim speculation, just because I think Skull had one of the best transitions from being that screw up. If Tommy can go from the forgetful loner to Dr. O, Skull can definitely be the baller that comes into the limo and gets Kimberly Hart. That Dear John letter to Tommy, that's who Kim met. Even though Skull was still around, they were texting each other, and that's how they came across.
Who do you think it was implied? Who do you think that was implied to be?
I thought it was supposed to be Jason.
Do you?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of speculation that Jason and Kim were supposed to be together in Turbo, but that's another subject.
You know what's funny is they do touch on this stuff in the Power Ranger comic book.
We're gonna talk about it.
And they do imply who the person was that was with Kimberly by the time this all happened. But anyways, if you like the Power Ranger comic book, go pick up Mighty Morphin Power Rangers by Boom Entertainment. No, it's not by Boom. Is it by Boom?
Yeah,
it is by Boom.
Boom Studios. Boom Studios. Yeah.
It is by Boom.
Yeah.
But those are our top 5 mentor relative Power Ranger relationship moments. Let us know what yours are. But before we end here,
let's get to some comments from the last episode.
We're going to talk about some comments, like you said, like the man said. We're going to start off with number 1. And you know that you're approved on YouTube when you get Edward Sanchez. Hashtag Edward Sanchez approved. Man, it was a great episode, and a part with Shelby being so jealous was hilarious. Keep up the great work, guys.
Yep.
Abigail Parker.
Abigail.
She's awesome, by the way. She drew a fan art of me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Shout
you
out.
guys really rock. I love that hashtag show. The best way for me as a German to stay in touch with the Power Ranger fandom that's the best way that she can stay in touch with the Power Ranger fandom. Please keep up the great work. And Joe, can I have your autograph on my drawing one day? Absolutely, you can.
Such a celebrity. So good.
So here come my top 5 Savage moments.
Sure.
Note, sadly she hasn't watched all the seasons. But number 5, Power Ranger Samurai. When everyone congratulates Antonio for the great work on the Clawzord, and Kevin tells him he's not a real samurai. That's a really good one.
That's pretty savage.
Number 4, Power Rangers Dino Charge. When Kendall compliments Tyler and Riley on becoming Rangers for their great character and abilities, and tells Shelby she doesn't really know why she's the Pink Ranger. Energems.
Shelby did get the shaft, but go ahead.
That's a great one too.
Yeah,
actually.
that's a great.
Power Rangers RPM, the whole Dr. K and Ziggy plot. Thank you. We agree with you. It's salvage. It gets salvaged, but also brought some funny moments. Number 2, or it gets savage, but also brought some funny moments. Number 2, Ninja Storm. Was it Mara Tricks Dustin? Mm-hmm. Mara, right?
Sure.
Tricks Dustin. You know, it's the villain.
The female. Yeah.
Yep. Number 1, Lost Galaxy, when the command station, under control by the monster, degraded Kai. Oh yeah, because he tried to save Terra Venture. You remember that episode?
Honestly, he wasn't Kai didn't deserve it. Kai was saving your life, sir. Just saying.
Andrew Suarez. People who found out Power Ranger identities by themselves. From what I remember from the moment from being a little girl, the little girl from In Space was one of the moments. Kendall from Wild Force was another one. Shane's brother from Ninja Storm. Toby from Mystic Force. Fran and Theo's brother from Jungle Fury. And Cassidy in Dino Charge. Dino Charge 265 says Cassidy in Dino Thunder. That's a true one.
This is everyone that discovered Ranger's secret identity.
Sure.
Okay.
Shadowbird 085. And in SPD, the person imprisoned in Sky's body, I don't think the SPD Rangers really had secret identities, though. I think it was pretty well known that the SPD Rangers were
It's
Rangers.
an established operation at this point, for sure.
So, Abby, how do you say that last name? Steech?
I want to say Steech.
Abby Steech.
Steech.
DJ is right. Kaylee. Sorry, Joe.
Hashtag Kaylee for the win.
Craig Anderson 7, top 5 savage moments. Number 1, Trent tricking the Rangers into thinking he was going to give them back their Zords.
Oh yeah.
Summer and Gemma destroying Dylan's car.
Woo. Ooh, savage.
Yeah. Number 3, Sid telling Dino Rangers the fighting dinosaurs was so over. That's true. 4, when Connor finds out Tommy is a Ranger, says our teacher is the oldest living Power Ranger. That's a good one.
Oh, man.
5, the way that Lily was treating the Rangers in Bad to the Bone.
Bad to the bone.
DJ, why don't you carry on with the next page?
Sure, why not, man? All right, so we have Shadowbird 084. Oh, 084, okay. By the way, we need a Kendall backstory, how she met Chase and Keeper, and I absolutely agree with you. I thought today's episode could have been that episode, but it wasn't, so.
Do you think we'll get it in the next
I hope we do. It's one of those things like I would expect, but at the same time, you never know.
You never know.
You never know. So Apollo Thunderflame says, Holy S. And thanks, DJ. That's why I chose the name. And he's referring to me loving his name because it's Apollo Thunderflame. Come on, that is freaking great.
It's a great name.
We have Amenzi Amoruri, who's saying, it was Kaylee, not Haley Joe.
Thank you. Thank you for everybody that corrected me on that. I appreciate it. I really do.
I appreciate it way more than he does. So we have Andrew Suarez, who has his top 5 savage moments, which is number 5, Andrews dumping the hot sauce in Bulk's milkshake.
It's a good one.
Very savage. Bulk taking Mike's order, or Mike's burger, to give him a disguise, to give to a disguised Turkina. Huh, I don't remember that one. Okay.
I don't really remember that one either.
All right, so Ninja Storm, The Thunder Strangers Part 2. Dustin, he says, I love your dirt as much as the next guy.
This is a good line.
Blake says, too bad it doesn't show. Too bad it doesn't show in your writing.
That's a good one.
Okay. Tommy saying to Kim, the world doesn't revolve around you. That was
Thank
on your
you.
list. And number 1, Forever Red ending, where everyone is laughing at Cole because he said Tommy is the greatest Ranger. That was pretty savage. That was pretty savage. We have Nolan Flemings, and he says, thanks, #show. This indeed was a pretty cool thing going on here. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Nolan.
His top 5 savage moments is Queen Benshira and how she switched on Diabolico and Olympus just to destroy for herself.
That was a good one.
Okay. Number 4, Power Rangers SPD when A Squad returns. Oh, that was savage. They were beasts. They were pretty beasts.
And that's such a great season.
Yeah, I did like A Squad a lot. Turkina sacrificing her own steam weavers. That was pretty savage.
Yeah.
Number 2, Rancic as a fighter. There's nothing like him. He's a villain embodied in savagery. Okay.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Rancic was beast. You're right. He did wreck shop. He's given the most brutal butt whooping even until now. Number 1 was Diva Talks having Elgar plant detonators inside the power chamber while the Rangers were fighting and had no idea and just blew them up. I thought that was insane but brilliant. Turbo was my first season. And
was that our second time that we ever saw the power chamber / command center blow
Yes,
up?
it definitely was. That time has not been kind to that command center at all. It did get.
In the comic book, it happens too. By the way.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, he is obsessed with the Boom comic books. Yeah. Okay. Shadowbird again. Thanks for the shout outs. Love from Malta. By the way, DJ.
Malta.
By the way, DJ is right about Kaylee.
Man, that's 3 of you guys.
Here's the 3rd page, man.
All right, we're going to the 3rd page. Again, another awesome discussion. I love DJ Silver Ranger shirt. That was an awesome shirt. He's wearing another awesome one today. Here's my favorite savage moments. Kimberly. Oh, this is the guy that you just. I'm just continuing it. Number 1, Kimberly breaking up with Tommy. Number 2, Jason keeps calling Cole rookie. Those were both on.
That was on yours.
Yeah. Number 3, Jen was about to cross the line.
Jen was about to cross the line.
Number 4, Miss Fairweather was hot, by the way. Miss Fairweather agreed not to go out with Joel, but it wasn't really a date. Or did agree to go out with Joel, but it wasn't really a date. Number 5, when Nick told Madison she is too shy.
Yeah.
All right. Tom Craven, number 5. Thanks for reading my comments. I was really surprised how well they've adapted this episode from Kyuger. Are you going to mention the American audience who hasn't watched the Sentai that Snide was a one-off villain in the film in the Dino themed Super Sentai?
Well, you just did.
You just did. So you did it for us, Tom. Thank you very much. Can of Soup. That's an awesome name, by the way. Can of Soup.
Pretty cool.
Sub Joe and DJ, love the show. My top 5 savage moments. Number 1, Sky laughing at Doggy and saying, ha ha ha, she's a girl.
Eesh. Yeah, savage.
when asked to follow Sid in a battle as the Red Ranger, if she would follow Sid in a battle as the Red Ranger. Number 2, Jen taking the Chronomorpher from Wes after he unlocked it. Number 3, Ashley, Andros, Zane love triangles. Love triangle. That wasn't really, not Ashley, Andros, and Zane?
I don't know if there's a love triangle.
You mean Carlos, right?
Maybe. Well, there was a little something between Astronema and Zane.
Yeah, all right. Number 4, Alex coming back in Time Force and kicking Wes to the curb. That was a good one.
Yeah.
5, agree with Joe. Anything with Dr. K and Ziggy. Thank you very much.
Agreed.
Can of soup. We got Daniel Romero. We need Brittany at PMC 2018. LOL, she was great. Brittany from last week's
episode, sure.
We got DeMarcus Perez, Mikey Perez. Mikey says he met us at Morphicon. I do remember Mikey.
I do remember Mikey too.
Can you do a top 5 Zords and individual Ranger list?
We may.
Yes, actually, top 5 female Rangers I have on the countdown, so go check that out. And you did the top 5 suits already.
I did.
Top 6 suits, actually.
Top 6.
Tori Stanford, hey guys, love your reviews. Do you guys think Tyler and Shelby will get together? And for the new cast of Power Rangers, do you believe that Haley and Calvin and Ninja Steel are African Americans? Also, will we see Kendall's backstory on how she met Keeper? P.S. Who are your top 5 red, pink Ranger couples? Mine are 1, Kendricks and Leo. 2, Dana Carter. 3, Wes and Jen. 4, Cole and Alyssa, which is a white Ranger actually. And 5, Tyler and Shelby. Dino Supercharge. Also, do you think Jen should have stayed in the past with Wes? That's a lot. So we're gonna sum that up. Number 1, let's talk about the cast and diversity in Ninja Steel.
Which is great.
It is the most diverse cast in Power Ranger history. It's actually, believe it or not, none of them are full Caucasian. The Red Ranger is half Indian, half white. The the Yellow Ranger is half black, half white.
I see.
The Pink Ranger is Brazilian.
White Ranger.
I'm sorry. No. The
She's
Pink
white.
Ranger is Brazilian.
There's a Pink Ranger?
Yeah.
Oh, there is a Pink Ranger.
The White Ranger is also, I think, half black, half white.
Sure.
And
I'm so sorry.
And the Blue Ranger is
Peter Sudarso.
So he's Indonesian.
Yoshi Sudarso's brother.
Yes.
Nice.
And I'm gonna let DJ answer this question. Do you think Jen should have stayed in the past with Wes?
Yes and no. Wes and Jen is one of the best couples in Power Ranger history, but it would have been weird considering she was engaged to his great grandson.
Relative thing, right?
So I mean, there's a little bit of a thing there. You can't really.
And as far as the Pink and Red Ranger relationships, we will do that. I promise you on a countdown or this episode. At some point. Lint 324, which is our producer JD, said Ninja Storm episode 15 Pork Chop, where it pretty much implied that Loafer eats General Tarf.
That is pretty savage.
Yes. And then Steven Martinez, which I just got a message from on Facebook, actually.
Nice. Shout out to Steven.
He's awesome. First, I have to ask, where did you get that shirt last week?
Oh, that was redbubble.com.
Redbubble.com, there you go. His top savage moments would be Andros, or in space when Andros finds out Zane went on a date with his sister. And Zane tells him he didn't know that she was his sister. And when Andros asked him if it was just one date. That's a good one.
That's it, yeah.
SPD, where the monster that kills Sky's dad goes to him and says he's worthless just like his father. Wow,
that is savage.
When Mac finds out he's an android, that is a good one. And when his father tells him he didn't have time to meet the right woman, and Mac just tells him, Mac just tells him, why didn't he make a woman for a woman for him instead of an android?
Oh, man.
That's actually a really good one. Oh, man, that was good. Number 1 would have to go to Go Save for being the biggest savage in Power Ranger history.
Yeah, that's so true.
Even giving the Rangers all the information.
So true.
And in Legendary Battle, when he was talking to Troy on the Morpher and asked how they are, Troy goes, we've been better. All Gosei says, I got faith in you, not even giving advice or being heard for the rest of the episode. True.
So basically, Gosei said, you're fine, walk it off, get in there.
And my boy Mikey, aka DeMarcus Perez, says that the episode where Tommy fought Tommy and Adam challenges Tommy was called The Hate Monster. So thank you very much.
That was on your list that we could remember the name from.
Sure. But those are all the questions and comments. We got through them. We love hearing your questions and comments, so please keep them coming. We'll read them right here on the show. You can email us at fanquestions@thathashtagshow.com.
Yep.
Or you can just write a comment right here on YouTube. Me and DJ are going to be doing our thing. I have Morphin Mondays, which will be on tomorrow. I have Sasha Craig on that episode. And I also have the newsfeed DJs doing the 5 for 5s, which are kind of like 30 for 30s, except 5 bad things. They're not like 30 for 30s.
What?
5 bad things, 5 good things he likes about films. You want to explain it?
Yeah, they're mini movie reviews. I have to find 5 things I like and 5 things I don't like, even if I loved it or I hated the movie. So I got to find something regardless of whatever I thought of the movie. So 5 for 5. mini movie reviews.
And then you and Brian got?
Throwback Thursdays, where we're 80s babies, so we bring back retro stuff, 70s, 80s, 90s, and you know, we're living in the days where reboots are happening. We're bringing back the original classics. So throwbacks, Thursdays, retro stuff, all us, baby.
All right. And that's going to do it for us. We'll be back next week with a new episode. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. And we're going to keep you up to date with everything trending in geek pop culture.